Thanks for checking out this video. So this is about everything coming to Shudder for September, but also a little bit of stuff that's already been announced for what's coming in October, because Shudder's kicking off their 61 Days of Halloween Celebration. That's what they're calling it. Shudder's 61 Days of Halloween Celebration. So I'm down. I know you all are down. I feel like I celebrate Halloween year round, and I feel like Shudder does too, to a degree, since they're all about horror anyway. But hey, we're in the countdown. It's getting more exciting. So, kicking off, I'm going to talk about 3 new series that they're having come to Shudder, which I don't know if I'm going to have screeners for them or not. I have an email into Shudder to ask whether I'm going to get screeners for them. If I can get screeners, it would probably be just the first few episodes, and then I'd release a no-spoiler review about how the series is looking to me, like some days before it hits Shudder. So watch my channel for that type of stuff. But as always, with the Shudder originals and exclusives, movie-wise, I will always have no spoiler reviews out like the week that they come out. It's usually on a Monday, but if they come out a different day, then it might be like on a Tuesday, a Friday, something like that. So it's important to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell button, because then you'll know when these videos are going up and you can see what my opinions are on them, if you care. Anyway, let's get into it. This first one I'm very excited about. 101 Scariest Horror Movie Moments of All Time. That is coming Wednesday, September 7th. In this 8-episode new series from the producers of Eli Roth's History of Horror, which I love, master filmmakers and genre experts celebrate and dissect the most terrifying moments of the greatest horror films ever made, exploring how these scenes were created and why they burned themselves into the brains of audiences around the world. Yes, very excited for that. The next one, also really excited for, is Queer for Fear, A History of Queer Horror. Now, this one starts on Friday, September 30th. And for all these series, they're doing like a new episode each week, is how they're doing it. Just one episode a week. Okay, Queer for Fear. From executive producer Brian Fuller, Queer for Fear is a 4-part documentary series about the history of the LGBTQ plus community in the horror and thriller genres. From its literary origins with queer authors Mary Shelley, Bram Stoker, and Oscar Wilde, to the pansy craze of the 1920s that influenced Universal Monsters and Hitchcock, from the Lavender Scare alien invasion films of the mid-20th century to the AIDS-obsessed bloodletting of 80s vampire films. Through genre-bending horrors from a new generation of queer creators, Queer for Fear re-examines genre stories through a queer lens, seeing them not as violent, murderous narratives, but as tales of survival that resonate thematically with queer audiences everywhere. Super cool. Very excited. Love documentary stuff, love horror stuff, love queer stuff. This is something we've been needing. Love it. Plus, Brian Fuller being at the head of it. I adore Brian Fuller. Then there's an Untitled Boulet Brothers series, which I don't know if that means it's a new season of their show. I assume it's probably not. It might be kind of like their Resurrection special that they had, is my guess. For the 3rd straight Halloween season, following the Boulet Brothers Dracula Resurrection 2020 and the Boulet Brothers Dracula Season 4 in 2021, the groundbreaking duo returned to Shudder to horrify and delight with their boldest and most ambitious show ever. So maybe it's maybe it's Season 5, I don't know, but if you haven't watched Boulet Brothers Dracula, it is phenomenal. Everything they're doing is phenomenal. It's drag queens performing, but with horror in mind, but it's also like glamour and filth. It's so much fun. It's great. Highly recommend. Now, and that's starting, it says date to be announced, so don't know yet, but it's September or October. We'll see. Probably starting in September, me, my guess. All right, so the Shudder original exclusive films. These are September and October, so here you go. So I might recap the stuff in October when I do that one. Who Invited Them? Premiering Thursday, September 1st. Adam and Margot's housewarming party goes well enough except for this mysterious couple, Tom and Sasha, lingering after the other guests have left. The couple reveals himself to be their wealthy and successful neighbors, but as one nightcap leads to another, Adam and Margot start to suspect their new friends are duplicitous strangers with a dark secret. Sounds fun. And like I said, I'll have reviews for all of these. No spoiler, like the week they're coming out. Saloom, coming Thursday, September 8th. Shot down after fleeing a coup and extracting a drug lord from Guinea-Bissau. The legendary mercenaries known as the Benghi Hyenas, Shaka, Rafa, and Midnight must stash their stolen gold bounty, lay low long enough to repair and refuel their plane, and escape back to Dakar, Senegal. When they take refuge at a holiday camp in the coastal region of Sina Salom, they do their best to blend in with their fellow guests, including a mute named Awa, with secrets of her own, and a policeman who may be on their tail, but it's Chaka who happens to be hiding the darkest secret of them all. Unbeknownst to the other hyenas, he's brought them there for a reason, and once his past catches up to him, his decisions have devastating consequences, threatening to unleash hell on them all. I feel like maybe that's too much information, but that's what they have written here. That one sounds fun. Very interesting. Coming Thursday, September 15th, Flux Gourmet. Set at an institute devoted to culinary and alimentary performance, a collective finds themselves embroiled in power struggles, artistic vendettas, and gastrointestinal disorders. Sounds interesting. Food-based horror? Don't get a whole lot of that, so I'm interested. Also coming Thursday, September 15th, Speak No Evil. On a vacation in Tuscany, a Danish family instantly becomes friends with a Dutch family. Months later, the Danish couple receive an unexpected invitation to visit the Dutch in their wooden house and decide to go for the weekend. However, it doesn't take long before the joy of reunion is replaced with misunderstandings. Things gradually get out of hand as the Dutch turn out to be something very else than what they have pretended to be. Not great writing there. The small Danish family now find themselves trapped in a house that they wish they had never entered. Sounds interesting enough. Coming September 22nd, which is a Thursday as well, Raven's Hollow, like the name of that. West Point cadet Edgar Allan Poe and 4 other cadets on a training exercise in upstate New York are drawn by a gruesome discovery into a forgotten community. That's it. Bill Moseley's in it, apparently, though. Looks interesting. Sounds interesting. Edgar Allan Poe. Cool. Coming Thursday, September 29th, Sissy. Sissy stars Aisha D. and Barlow as Cecilia and Emma. What? Stars Aisha D. and Barlow. Who is Barlow? Okay, I'm just going to read it. Sissy stars Aisha D. and Barlow as Cecilia and Emma, who had been tween-age BFFs who were never going to let anything come between them until Alex arrived on the scene. 12 years later, Cecilia is a successful social media influencer, living the dream of an independent modern millennial woman until she runs into Emma for the first time in over a decade. After reconnecting, Emmy invites Cecilia on her bachelorette weekend at a remote cabin in the mountains, where Alex proceeds to make Cecilia's weekend a living hell. I don't know. Maybe. Coming Thursday, October 6th, Deadstream, all one word. A disgraced and demonetized internet personality tries to win back his fans by live streaming himself spending a night alone in an abandoned haunted house. This premise has been used before. However, when he accidentally unleashes a vengeful spirit, his big comeback event becomes a real-time fight for his life and social relevance as he faces off with the sinister spirit of the house and her powerful following. I'm probably not going to enjoy that one, but you never know. I'll still have a review. Just keep an open mind. This next one I'm very excited for because it's one I was wanting to see anyway. Dario Argento's Dark Glasses, Modern Giallo, premieres Thursday, October 13th. Rome, an eclipse blocks out the sun, blackening the skies on a hot summer day. Harbinger of the darkness that will envelop Diana when a serial killer chooses her as prey. Fleeing her predator, the young escort crashes her car and loses her sight. She emerges from the initial shock, determined to fight for her life, but she is no longer alone. Defending her and acting as her eyes is a little boy, Chin, who survived the car accident. But the killer won't give up his victim. Who will be saved? A triumphant return from Italian master of horror director Dario Argento. I'm into it. Asia Argento's in it, too. It is in it as well. Sorry. Ugh. Also coming October 13th, which is Thursday, She Will. After a double mastectomy, Veronica Gent goes to a healing retreat in rural Scotland with her young nurse Desi. She discovers that the process of such surgery opens questions about her very existence, leading her to start to question and confront past traumas. The two develop an unlikely bond as mysterious forces give Veronica the power to enact revenge within her dreams. Interesting. Malcolm McDowell's in it, so I'm excited. I like him. A lot of people are going to be excited about this next one. If you liked VHS 94, you're potentially going to love VHS 99, which is coming Thursday, October 20th. VHS 99 marks the return of the acclaimed found footage anthology franchise and the sequel to Shudder's most watched premiere of 2021. Kudos on that. A thirsty teenager's home video leads to a thirsty teenager's home video leads to a series of horrifying revelations, featuring 5 new stories from filmmakers Maggie Levin, Johan Roberts, Flying Lotus, I guess that's a name, Tyler McIntyre, and Joseph and Vanessa Winter. VHS 99 harkens back to the final punk rock analog days of VHS, while taking one giant leap forward into the hellish new millennium. I'm not big on found footage, as you probably know if you've been watching my channel long enough, but I thought VHS 94 was good, so this might be good too. And the final of the Shudder exclusives and originals, Resurrection, premiering Friday, October 28th. Margaret's life is in order. She is capable, disciplined, and successful. Everything is under control. That is until David returns, carrying with him the horrors of Margaret's past. That's it. Tim Roth is in that. I do like me some Tim Roth. Real quick, pause for horror hydration. So good. For some reason, the water's better out of this. I don't know. I think it's the satisfaction of the horror aspect. All right. Big news. This is probably the biggest news for people. There will be a Joe Bob Briggs The Last Drive-In Halloween special. And it's going to be October 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So just know that. I'm not going to read anything about it because we know what he does. And we're not going to know the films ahead of time. So I'm sure this is not a big shock to people. He's been doing one for Halloween. So I'm excited. You probably are too. Let's do it. They're doing the Ghoul Log again. It looks like they're going to do a new Ghoul Log and bring back the old Ghoul Logs, which is a lot of fun. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like a jack-o'-lantern that's on loop, kind of like the Yule logs that were on things like Netflix and everything, with like good music. And if you watch them long enough, they have other interesting things happen in the background. They're really cool. They're wonderful to have on in the background, especially to, get you in the mood for the season. All right, they're also doing Shudder's Halloween Hotline, where you can basically call in and tell them what types of horror films you like, and they will give you recommendations to watch on Shudder, which is cool. That's going to be every Friday in October from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and you will talk to Sam Zimmerman, who's the guy who mainly curates the films on Shudder, so very knowledgeable dude. And the phone number, you can find it. I'll just tell you, 914-481-2239. Again, if you want to write it down, 914-481-2239, and that'll be every Friday in October from 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't know how hard it'll be to get through, because I can imagine a lot of people would be calling. Now, to get to all the movies that are going to be added in September, and they don't have any October regular movies listed, so I'm still going to be doing next month what's coming to Shudder for October, so you might get a little bit of repeats, but you'll get all the new stuff coming in October. So, coming September 1st are the following 4 films. 31. Driving through the Southwest on Halloween night, Charlie and her carny crew are attacked and brought to a factory where evil aristocrat Malcolm McDowell announces they'll be hunted by a series of killer clowns, including the unstoppable Doomhead, played by Richard Brake. The deathmatch setup has been a horror fantasy staple from 1932's The Most Dangerous Game to the Hunger Games. They meant to say Hunger Games, but spelled Hunter Games. But in Rob Zombie's blood-soaked hands, the subgenre naturally receives its most unrelenting, gruesome interpretations. I hated it, to be honest. But if you're a Rob Zombie fan, you may very well like it. I did not like that film. Now, one I did like from him, also coming out the same day, The Devil's Rejects. After a raid on the rural home of the psychopathic Firefly family, two members of the clan, Otis and Baby, manage to flee the scene. Heading to a remote desert motel, the killers reunite with Baby's father, Captain Spaulding. Oh, R.I.P. Sid Haig. He was so nice. Who is equally demented and intent on maintaining their murder spree. While the trio continues to torment and kill various victims, the vengeful Sheriff Waddell slowly closes in on them. Very good film. I mean, definitely his best film, Rob Zombie. Also, coming that same day, another film by Rob Zombie I actually do like that I don't think gets enough love, The Lords of Salem. Heidi, a radio DJ from Salem, is plagued by bizarre nightmares of vengeful witches after playing a mysterious record by a group known as the Lords. When the record becomes a huge hit, Heidi and her colleagues receive tickets for the band's next gig, but upon arrival find the show goes beyond anything they could have imagined. It's good. Like, it's very underrated in my opinion. I don't typically like Rob Zombie horror films, but I think he really did a good job with Lords of Salem. Plus, I think it's Sherry Moon Zombie's best performance, hands down. Because she doesn't play a really over-the-top character. Lady in White, also coming the same day. 9-year-old Frankie lives in a small town with a deadly secret. For a decade, a serial child killer has eluded police, and the death toll continues to rise. Then one night, Frankie gets locked in at his school as a prank and witnesses the ghost of the first victim being murdered. Now, aided by the girl's restless spirit, Frankie takes it upon himself to bring her assailant to justice, but in a town with no strangers, the killer may be closer than he knows. Sounds interesting. All right, the next one film is coming September 5th. The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue. A strange twist of fate brings two young travelers, George and Edna, to a small town where an experimental agricultural machine may be bringing the dead back to life. As zombies infest the area and attack the living, a bull-headed detective thinks the couple are Satanists responsible for the local killings. George and Edna must fight for their lives as they try and stop the impending zombie apocalypse. I'm probably not going to see it just because I've had enough with zombie stuff for the most part, but if you've seen it and you think it's good, let me know. Sorry, pause for horror hydration. I feel like I should say that. It's like a thing now. All right, the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 films are coming September 6th. Perfect Blue. Highly recommend this one. It's good. First time on streaming. Rising pop star Mima has quit singing to pursue a career as an actress and model, but her fans aren't ready to see her go. Encouraged by her managers, Mima takes on a recurring role on a popular TV show when suddenly her handlers and collaborators begin turning up murdered. Harboring feelings of guilt and haunted by visions of her former self, Mima's reality and fantasy meld into a frenzied paranoia. As her stalker closes in person and online, the threat he poses is more real than even Mima knows, in this iconic psychological thriller that has frequently been hailed as one of the most important animated films of all time. And it is important to reiterate, it is animated. It is anime. Very good, though. I recommend it. Mind Game. Loser Nishi, too wimpy to try to save his childhood sweetheart from gangsters, is shot in the butt by a soccer-playing psychopath projecting Nishi into the afterlife. In this limbo, God, shown as a series of rapidly changing characters, tells him to walk toward the light. But Nishi runs like hell in the other direction and returns to Earth a changed man, driven to live each moment to the fullest. Sounds kind of interesting. Bird Boy, The Forgotten Children. Stranded on an island in a post-apocalyptic world, teenager Dinky and her friends hatch a dangerous plan to escape in the hope of finding a better life. Meanwhile, her old friend Bird Boy has shut himself off from the world, pursued by the police and haunted by demon tormentors. But unbeknownst to anyone, he contains a secret inside him that could change the world forever. Based on a graphic novel. Interesting. Nocturna Side A, The Great Old Man's Night. Ulysses is a 100-year-old man battling for redemption on his last night on Earth. Faced with imminent death, he is forced to rethink his past, his present, and his take on reality. Not a whole lot there. I don't know. Life Changer. Drew has an identity problem. Every few days, he has to shapeshift or face a painful death. He has to find someone and make a copy. He takes everything, their looks, memories, hopes, and dreams, their entire life. He becomes them and they die horribly, Lately, the changes are becoming more frequent. Facing his imminent death, Drew sets out on one final blood-soaked mission. That sounds really interesting. That's a really cool concept. Let me know if that's worth it, if you've seen it. Coming September 12th, the next one title, Extraordinary Tales. 5 of Edgar Allan Poe's best-known stories are brought to vivid life in this visually stunning, heart-pounding animated anthology featuring some fought he most beloved... Oh my god. This sentence, dude. I'm reading it as is. Featuring some fought he most beloved figures in horror film history. Shudder. Proofreading. Proofreading. It's a thing. All right, the next 2 films are coming September 19th. We're almost there, you guys. We're almost done. Cemetery of Terror. Great title. On Halloween, a group of medical students steal the corpse of a serial killer from a morgue and raise him from the dead, inadvertently putting themselves and a group of young neighborhood children in danger. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm very interested in that one. And then Grave Robbers. Teenagers accidentally resurrect a satanic killer who targets the local police captain's daughter to birth the Antichrist. Kind of similar to the last one, but also sounds fun. And we're coming down to the final 2 films for September, coming on September 26th. Soul Survivor. A lone survivor of a plane crash is haunted by a feeling unworthy of survival. Dead people start coming after her to collect her. Maybe. And the last film for September, Trick or Treats. There's an S on the end of that. Trick or Treats. I know there are a lot of other films that have similar title. A babysitter is stuck watching over a young brat on Halloween night who keeps playing vicious pranks on her. To add to her trouble, the boy's deranged father has escaped from an asylum and is planning on making a visit. Sounds kind of interesting. So, once again, that is everything. I made it through it. I thought I was going to, die at some point. I'm losing so much energy from this, because I do all my videos in one take, if you haven't noticed. So it's a long time to talk. But in the comments, let me know any films coming for September that you think I definitely should try and watch. Doesn't mean I definitely will, but I'll take them into consideration. And if enough people say the same ones, then I may make sure that I get to them. But yeah, let me know your opinions, like what's good. Also the ones to stay away from, let me know, because that is also helpful to me. But hopefully you're also excited for these Shudder's 61-day Halloween celebration. I think I got that right. But also let me know what you're excited about. Go ahead and put it in the comments. And then, like I said, I'll also have my update next month for everything coming for October, which should be a big month, I'm sure. If September seems, from the film side, it's a little bit light, it's probably because they're moved some of the money for September over to October to have a bigger month. So just know the bigger stuff is probably coming. So, but hopefully you're excited. Comments, subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the notification bell, please. But regardless, thanks for taking your time to check this video out. And until next time, keep it brutal.